Today's show is sponsored by the ABV Barrel Shop. The ABV Barrel Shop is located in the St. Louis metro community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on one thing, single barrels. Best of all, you can try before you buy. Head over to abvbarrelshop.com to sign up for their email and text distribution so you know what they have in stock, what classes are coming up, and who from the industry may be coming in to visit. The ABV Barrel Shop. It's where single barrels live. We are also sponsored by the Bar to Go. The Bar to Go offers traveling minibars that are no bigger than a small purse or toiletry bag. Best of all, they are fully customizable so you can create the perfect piece that is unique for you. If you own your own business, what a fun and unique way to promote what you do. Check them out online at thebar2go.com. That is the number 2 in the Bar to Go. If you have wholesale questions, call my friend Isabel Clark at 504-481-1297. Finally, we are sponsored by the Neely Family Distillery. NFD is a family-owned business that keeps ringing up awards in the spirits world. Head to Sparta, Kentucky to experience the family history, award-winning spirits, and meet the Neely family. Check them out online at neelyfamilydistillery.com. Now, on to the show.
Let's drink!
Welcome to the Bourbon Daily, the podcast about everything bourbon delivered to you every day of the week. Today on the show, we discuss the fact Old Forester is now releasing President's Choice Bourbon and Rye on a national basis. My name is McNew. Please join me in welcoming my co-host, Steve Akeley, along with our special guests, Katie Joyce, Linda Monica, and Lenny Eckstein.
Hey gang, what's up?
Guys.
Hi, guys.
Hey-o. So yeah, we're going to be talking about President's Choice. Prior to this, of course, it's a revived brand within the Old Forester family. So it's a brand that they had, I think it went away in the 60s, but they brought it back. As a distillery-only release, it's going to be available now to bourbon fans across the country in your liquor stores. So I'll be interested to see what happens with this. Is it accessible? I don't know the answers to that, but Old Fo's done a better job than most of kind of making sure that you get their the products that they make in your hands. So we'll see what happens. We'll see how that goes. We'll get to that discussion, though, after the break. For right now, Katie said there's something she wanted to talk about. What is that, Katie?
Yeah, so I have a gambling question. So hopefully you all go to casinos occasionally.
Sure.
If not, this is going to be a really short.
I can help out. I want
to know what your strategy is if you're doing slots. So you're like, do you have a strategy of how you approach if you go to a casino? Like, I usually warm up with slot machines, do some penny slots before I go to table games, or if it's really busy, I'll stick with them. So, like, do you have a strategy where, like, like, this is what I'm looking for, this is what I do? I'd like to know your gambling strategy.
If we're stuck doing slots, I'm drinking as much as possible because I cannot think of something more boring. Not so boring. I'm just getting lit. And I'm going to play blackjack because it's fun.
Okay. Fair enough.
Have you not played the more modern slots?
No, she hasn't.
All boring. It's all.
But they have like free games and like they make the most noise in the world, even if you win 10 cents. Like they got things that pop out and the dragon comes down and then the leprechaun pops up. And obviously I'm combining games, but
I don't need all that. Like it's like watching like a very loud video game, and I hate video games. I don't like the whole experience. I just want to be drunk and I want to play blackjack. That's what I want to do.
Oh God, I would not want to be on a
like
table.
Kind of serious here. Okay.
You on the blackjack table? Do you get yelled at?
No, I'm really good at it actually.
You actually follow the book?
I can't count, but I'm very good at blackjack.
See, I saw that going one of two ways. Either McNew was actually like good at like following the book and what you're suggested to do for the rules of blackjack, and like, yes, I'm fucking down for it.
Right, that's where people will yell at you though if you don't follow.
For sure.
Right, or I could see McNew coming up and be like, "Fuck all of you! I'm here to have fun. It doesn't matter."
I see that for sure.
Like hitting on 18, like is what I see McNew doing.
Yeah, hitting on 18. I totally.
I will follow the rules real early in the night, but when it gets later, I'm just kind of like, fuck it. Like, if I'm leaving within a half hour, I just fuck it all up. But
So don't let you do slots first, because then you'll come sloshed to blackjack and just piss everyone off.
Right.
Yeah. I find slots so boring, and like people sit there for hours, and I'm like,
McNew, you're spot on. Like they are boring. People do sit there for hours, and it's dumb. But on occasion, like I've sat down at a slot machine that like, okay, this is dorky, but like I sat down at a Game of Thrones slot machine, It was fucking awesome. It was practically an amusement park ride. There was like air and like motion, and it was comfortable, and there were dragons. It was and I don't play video games. So I'm doing this, and I'm like, this is fucking interesting. Like, I'm enjoying. I probably sat there for like 2 hours, which is a long time for me to sit in one place. And I was enjoying whatever shitty bourbon they were pouring me. And I lost all my money.
Okay.
But hey, and I think that was the last slot machine I played. That was years ago.
Okay.
But I get it.
Entertainment. That if you
100%. It's dumb, but we all do dumb shit. I mean, I don't know.
Oh, yeah.
We don't have to be elitist at casinos, I think. It's okay to play dumb games sometimes.
I agree. Yeah, I just want to play the one that's fun. That's my strategy. I just want to, what looks like it's fun, interactive, Wheel of Fortune, or whatever it is that looks like there's going to be a lot of activity and things like that. Yeah. So yeah, just it's the dumb fun part of the night. I agree.
Sometimes the seat
how about you, Linda?
I haven't done one in years, but I have a funny story with it. So we did nickel slots in Biloxi, and my friend, he won $65 in nickels, which was like the jackpot. And he's like, he turns to me and he's like, do I got to take this all in nickels?
Yeah, you get a bag of nickels. That's what you get. Yeah.
See, that was the good days when it actually like shoot out coins.
It was better
like,
then.
The bucket there collecting them.
Yeah.
Now he's getting.
I like how they make the noise that the coins used to make.
Yeah.
Even hitting down in the metal bucket that they'd have. You get that noise when it's quote unquote cashing out.
See, I think I would like that. I'd get to play with the coins and touch them. I'd be way more entertained.
You'd be entertained.
Out a ticket when you're done, and I'm like,
okay.
I have to not lose this piece of paper. That sucks for me.
McNew, I've got another blackjack question for you. You go to an open table. They just opened one up. You happen to be walking up. You got your drink in your hand, and they're like, and you see several people behind you. The table's going to be full in just a moment. But so as the dealer deals, he deals left to right. Let's say that's let's call that first one to the left, number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Where are you sitting when that is open? Because this is a key question here.
I like to be in the center.
So number 3, of course. Only McNew would want to be in the center, of course. Oh my God! I have 2 new friends. Okay. Well, that's probably as good as anything in the center, I guess. Yeah. You're in spot number 1. You're just you're ruined it for everyone if you get your crazy play. And number 3, man, if you're at third base, as they call it, and you're making those crazy plays that fucks it up for the whole table, that's when you really get yelled at. If you're sitting in spot number 5 and you screw things up, and then the dealer like busts or doesn't bust, then they would have. People will be yelling. Yeah.
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 But I usually go for the second seat in, either the second one or the second from last. I don't want to be the first. I don't want to be last. I want to
just quietly.
I want to fold into the
right. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think I would probably grab the first spot if it was open table. What about you, Linda? Where would you sit if you're going to sit playing blackjack?
So Matt just gambled this week when he was on a business trip, and I need to ask him where he sat. But yeah, I'm going to be like 3.
3, okay. You're like you and McNew, okay. How about you, Lenny?
I don't. So like I was when I was 18, I was yelled at for my first time playing blackjack, and I never sat down again. I don't remember where I sat. I was, what the fuck? I'm yelled at. I'm trying to make enough money to buy a skateboard. Fuck. So yeah. So now I just go to the bar.
Okay, now you go to the bar. So it was legal where you're at to gamble at 18?
Yeah, it was. Well, in Atlantic City, then it was. Yeah.
Okay. Cool.
Might have changed.
Yeah, I think it's 21 everywhere now. I think.
Okay.
I don't know.
I think now, yeah. I mean, go out of country, and those are fun. Like
true. Yeah, you can. Yeah, you're on a cruise ship or something. You can gamble. Yeah, but
maybe I was 21. I think I was 18 though.
Yeah, sounds good. All right. On that note, it's time to drink. What is everyone drinking? Let's start this time with Katie. Katie, what do you got there?
I've got some Old Forester. This was a TSR pick.
Okay. Okay, nice and bassy. We'll see if that's enough to hold out here. I've got a Russell's Reserve here, single barrel. Not a lot left in this one, so I don't think there's going to be a lot left in this cork, but we'll see. Oh, God, I talked over myself. It just basically fell out of there in my hand, so.
Just flinging itself at you.
Yeah. So Katie has the lead. Up next is Linda. Linda, what do you got?
I have Barrel King Knighted. Let's see. This is a fresh crack, so
That's solid. That's solid.
That was
we
great.
have a new leader. Lenny, you're next.
I've got my own humor. I believe this bottle came from sea level back up to Colorado after being opened at sea level. So we'll see. I'll be wrong.
Nothing. Well, okay, I said nothing, and then a cork popped.
It was late.
It was late. Well, there's smoke there, so interesting.
That's cool.
But that being said, there wasn't enough on that cork pop.
Now I start doing like elevation changes with my bottles.
Yeah.
Yeah, it only takes 15 hours to get from there to here.
Did you see how I said there was nothing, and then the cork popped? That's how delayed that was.
Yeah, there was a delay on our we saw you move. Steve announced nothing, and then we heard a pop.
So I'm winning.
No, it was not quite as.
If there was a
good
trick
as
shot
Linda's.
category, you would win. But.
Linda's got the lead, but McNew has yet to go, so McNew could steal this thing at the end. We'll see what happens.
I don't think this is going to do much. I have a 1792.
Okay, that's better than I expected. Those 1792s, after you get past the first cork pop, typically there's not a lot there. So, but not enough to win. Linda wins that fair and square. So, cheers to Linda.
Yay.
All right, we're going to take a quick break, and then when we come back, we're going to be talking about President's Choice, Bourbon and Rye going national. We'll do that in just a few. Okay, let's talk about the people that make these shows happen. First up is the Stave and Thief Society. Via their in-person class at Moonshine University in Louisville, Kentucky, the Stave and Thief Society is the place where you, a bourbon enthusiast, can expand your knowledge and emerge an executive bourbon steward. In 2017, I completed my executive bourbon steward certification. It's the most comprehensive bourbon certification available and connects you with an expansive network of bourbon enthusiasts and professionals. Check out the full listing of in-person and online certifications and join the society today by enrolling at staveandthief.com. Speaking of Executive Bourbon Steward certification, the ABV Barrel Shop in St. Louis, Missouri has developed a unique partnership with the Stave and Thief Society to offer a preparatory class to assist you in getting your Executive Bourbon Steward certification. This prep class costs only $25 and is available to take live or online via Zoom. Graduates of our class receive a coupon code good for 15% off your Executive Bourbon Steward certification held in Louisville, Kentucky. This saves you almost $90. Additionally, you can collaborate with fellow attendees to split travel costs when you go to Louisville. If you're interested in signing up for the class, simply head over to abvbarrelshop.com and check out the classes and events page. Last but not least, we are sponsored by Neely Family Distillery. Royce Neely is the 11th generation distiller in one of America's oldest distilling families. A visit to Neely Family Distillery takes you through family history, where you can see all the artifacts and newspaper clippings through the years from this family that started distilling in America after James Neely arrived from Northern Ireland in 1740. Today, Royce Neely and his team are crafting some of the best spirits in America. Their bourbon and absinthe offerings keep winning top honors in the spirits competitions. Recently, their absinthe made history as the first platinum winner in the absinthe category at the San Francisco Spirits Competition. Neely Family Distillery is definitely a bucket list destination if you are a bourbon fan. Learn more about their spirit offerings, visiting their facility, and the awards they have collected over at NeelyFamilyDistillery.com. And now, back to the show.
I'm Ryan Thompson, and I am a billionaire, and KK will get none of my whiskey, and I enjoy my single malt scotch. You're listening to the Bourbon Daily. Pendleton, where's my caviar?
Welcome back to the Bourbon Daily. Today we're talking about Old Forester's President's Choice going national.
Yes, we are. So it sounds like it'll be available everywhere. And I don't know how, when I say available, is it going to be allocated available, which means no one gets it, or is it going to be available, but like the series, the Whiskey Row series, where it's like the 1921, 1920, 1897, those you can find pretty much everywhere. I have no idea. It's going to be 7 to 9 year old whiskey. There's going to be releases are going to vary the age statement as well as the proof. So they said, so far they've been 110 to 125, and they'll probably fall in that kind of range again. The retail is going to be $225. What do you guys think of that? That's at the upper end, right?
It's a steep price tag, but I kind of like it because it helps me justify my own prices.
Uh-huh.
I like seeing the price in the industry.
Okay.
It's a great answer.
From a distiller standpoint, he likes it. Yes, $225.
I think it's going to be hard enough to find that the price doesn't really matter. I think anything below like 400, like whether it's 100 or 225, with how hard it's going to be to find, and people are probably only going to be able to find one bottle of it. I don't think that really makes a difference.
I don't know what they're doing with it, and maybe I just missed it in the article. Did anybody? I mean, President's Choice released at the distillery is single barrels, so those single barrels are going to vary by proof. They're going to vary in age. Now, is it still single barrels they're releasing, or so they'll just do a variety of single barrels, or is it going to be batched? And then we're talking about the ages and the proofs that are based on the batch. I don't know the answer to that. So
I wasn't
batched.
I would think batch too when you're talking about nationwide release, but
could be single barrel though. 7 to 9 year. I don't know.
I did
like Baker's I got here. This is single barrels, so they do it on a nationwide basis. So it's possible, but I just don't know what the strategy is here with this one. So not sure.
I liked that to celebrate releasing this at retailers nationwide, they are releasing some in person for purchase at the distillery. So they're like, we're releasing this nationwide to retailers. Come to our distillery to buy some.
Yeah.
Why do they not say like it'll be released at 3 retailers around us to celebrate this like on a certain No, they're still like, this is great. We're going to retailers. Come
see us. Come see us. Yeah, we got you covered.
Like, go to Liquor Barn. We're doing a big event there. No, come here.
No. Yep. No.
Yeah. This is it's interesting because I think we are at the best time ever to be a bourbon fan, and the reason for that is I mean there is more bourbon out there now. They're finally getting caught up in what happens with that, and I think they don't want to devalue what they have. So what they're doing is coming up with creative new ways with new premium bourbons and things like that. So that's why we're seeing not why we have an Eagle Rare 12 now. 100% this is because of the situation that we're in terms of why are we getting more age statements again? Well, because they can. They've got the whiskey available. That's why Jim Beam Black Label, even a lower end product, is getting an age statement. Or Wild Turkey 101 is going to have an age statement now. So I think we're just in a good time to be a bourbon fan. And I also want to be clear, the struggles in the bourbon industry aren't because there's less bourbon fans. It's because it's not the growth levels that the industry assumed were going to be happening. All this ramping up and all these distilleries coming online, we don't have the capacity for that. So, and I don't know that we'll get there. So,
do you think,
hoping that
there's maybe some intentionality on their part, and this is kind of a weird one, hot take. Without any political aspects to this comment, did they maybe look at the climate and say, now is a good time to drop a bottle that's called President's Choice for $225 because people care one way or the other, whereas arguably people didn't really care. Like there would be no value in a brand called President's Choice. Like maybe this goes beyond bourbon nerds.
I'm not smart enough to know that, but I just think, to me, it's a matter of what do we do with this whiskey? We can make this into 1920 and sell it for $50. Or here's an idea: we can take that exact same whiskey that we're talking about making, just having more 1920 out there. We can make a President's Choice that's available out there. And by the way, the retail on that's going to be $225. I think it's just a simple matter of economics versus trying to make any sort of political statement or anything like that. I think so.
Well, I don't mean it as like a political statement as much as political opportunism. But hey, it makes a lot more sense to launch this now than it did a few years ago. Maybe.
Maybe. I don't know either, yeah. But I think, to me, every decision, here's what I always look at every single decision that's ever made with anything. What's the money? Where's the money? And I think that this is just a matter of we're creating a premium product that we can sell with the exact same whiskey that we would be selling for 1/4 of the price, basically.
You might be right.
I think it's as simple as that. These are elevated, and there's probably some merit to that if they're going through and actually tasting. I mean, when Jackie was there, and I got to spend some time talking to Jackie about President's Choice, that was one of her jobs, was to go through the barrels, find the unique ones, catalog them, continue to touch base with them, and find out when they're ready to go. And then she would have these, amazing barrels, but that was again for a single barrel at a time, released through the distillery every, 4 weeks or whatever. A much easier job than a nationwide thing. I have no idea how they're selecting these barrels at this point. I don't know.
Probably ChatGPT.
I think they're probably squatting down, chalk in hand.
Yeah, definitely.
Has to be.
Huh, yes.
Jackie would not have done that, though.
Yeah, so no. So yeah, there's no squatting down, chalk in hand. So, yeah.
I do wonder how readily available this is going to be, like anywhere,
Right.
like we've said before.
I do kind of like the new special releases companies that put out, 'cause I'm hoping that if they continue to make exclusive this and exclusive that and limited release this and that it will confuse the people who are going just for certain names and maybe either discourage them so that it's not the people who are just hoarding certain names that then the rest of us can't find.
Right.
Or maybe it'll break up that grouping a little bit so that overall the exclusive and limited releases will be easier to find.
Do you think de facto, if you put out enough exclusive releases, they become not too hard to find, and they lose that chaseability because there's so many of them? And, like I said, we're seeing all kinds of them coming out these days. So
It's the whole, if everything is special, then nothing is special at all.
exactly,
Right.
yeah, and that seems to be where we're headed. We've got it on cruise control heading towards that, which again, for us as bourbon fans, true advocates of the whiskey industry, for us, it's not a bad thing. For the industry as a whole, well, it might not be the greatest thing, but for us, at least in the short to midterm, I think we're going to be enjoying some good times here. But yeah, we'll see what long-term impact is on the stuff. I don't know. So yeah, we'll just wait and see. I think the bottom line is, no matter what, for people like us, we're in it for the long term. If things do take a turn where bourbon fans are leaving, we're still there. We're locked in. We're just going to enjoy and drink our whiskey, and we'll be able to go to the store and buy whatever we want at that point, I guess. And what happens to the bourbon companies will happen to the bourbon companies. I do think that'll be. I just don't think the big ones, the strong ones, will go away. I think it's going to be what we're kind of seeing now, the weaker ones, and then these people who are getting in with huge dollars and investments, and apparently no whiskey plans. So we've seen, one go away before its first anniversary. We saw another one that we were told is the greatest thing ever, having some financial issues. I don't know what's going to happen to them at this point. There's another smaller kind of, mid-size, I guess, craft distillery in Kentucky that they're not going to make it to their grand opening, which is scheduled for later this month. They're, having financial. So it's a weird time. But you're talking about people jumping in and thinking they can make a bunch of money in this industry. So, not people been in it for the long term here, and I think they're just better suited. People like Lenny are better suited than people who've dumped a bunch of money and think there's no way we can mess this up. Everybody makes money when they're in bourbon, so. I think that's the ones that are struggling now. So there you go.
And for those listening at home as well, we get the coolest view when Lenny's on and all of us are on this Zoom because he's got all these barrels behind him. And then like a moment ago, he kind of like leaned back in his chair and just like looked out like over the warehouse around him, like looking out amongst all his barrels, like everything the light touches kind of a moment.
I was trying to figure out what bottle that is right there.
So it's a cool view on our side, though, especially when we're talking about like what companies are doing. Like, oh, we can see. Look at this, and we can see right behind Lenny, right there.
Oh yeah, he's like a bourbon baron there for sure. We got our crews very excited about the barrel that was like Lenny came in the other day and brought some samples. I wasn't there. I was in Kentucky for Bootlegger Day, and picked a barrel. And Darren was like, "You got to try this. I think it's the best thing from Lenny we've ever had." And I got to say, it was pretty damn great whiskey. You guys picked a good one there. So you brought a good one.
It's neat. Yeah. I mean, I won't go too long on a tangent, but it's a pretty neat place where we are because like our bourbon is drifting because throughout 1 year. I started switching grain bills, and it kept going. So as we're getting to like the stuff that's hitting 4 years and 5 years, there's so much variation. And you guys picked a neat one. It's a pretty unique grain bill. So
yeah,
it'll be fun to pour for fun.
Yeah, it'll be debuting at our anniversary party. So anybody coming to that, you'll get to taste that. Lenny will be there, and shaking hands, signing bottles. So pretty cool. All right, we'll wrap this one up as we always do by talking about where people can find us. Linda, we'll start with you. Where can people find you?
Linda Modica, Facebook and Instagram.
Katie.
You can find me over on Instagram at KatieProof.
Lenny.
You can find me and the rest of Deerhammer on social media at Deerhammer, on the webs at deerhammer.com, and you can come visit us in beautiful Buena Vista, Colorado.
All right, McNew.
I'm on Instagram at McNew ABV.
All right, for me, I'm an easy guy to find at Steve Akeley, Twitter, Instagram, or Facebook. I've got a website, steveakeley.com. We've also got a company website. It's abvnetwork.com. Check it out. Everything that we do is out there. We just saw the Bourbon Baron just take a whole glass of whiskey, just launch it into he'll have someone clean that up in the morning. So, yeah, the staff. So. Check us out at the ABV Barrel Shop. We're online, abvbarrelshop.com. McNew, anything else to say before we get out of here?
I'd like to remind the audience to please give us a 5-star review. That includes comments. It helps new people find the show, which is very important to us. And if you like what we're doing, we ask that you please visit our Patreon page at patreon.com/the ABV Network.
Great job today, gang. For audience, we'll have a brand new show for you tomorrow. Looking forward to that. Until then, take care, everybody. See ya.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Before we let you go, let's talk about one last thing. The ABV Barrel Shop in the St. Louis community of Arnold, Missouri. The ABV Barrel Shop is focused on a couple of things. First of all, single barrels. We are the place where single barrels live. We go to distilleries, taste through the whiskey, select the best barrel, and have it shipped to our store where we present it to you, our customers, by allowing you to try before you buy. We're also known for the classes that we have in our education center in the store, as well as the events we have with industry professionals from the bourbon business. If you are in the St. Louis area, please come by and visit us at 6 Fox Valley Center in Arnold, Missouri. Or at a minimum, at least sign up for our email and text distribution so you know exactly what's going on in our shop over at abvbarrelshop.com. This is Steve Akeley, owner of the ABV Network, signing off. We thank you for listening to our programming and truly appreciate your support.
The Bourbon Daily is part of the ABV Network. For more information or to become a sponsor, please visit abvnetwork.com. Thanks for listening and cheers.
This has been a Steve Akeley production.